Let us discuss a solution to lab 2. So in the lab exercise, you are asked to build a 4-bit ripple carry adder using 4 full adder instances. So let's first see what was the logic for the full adder. The full adder was supposed to add 3 bits A, B and C in and produce the sum and carry. So if you solve the truth table, the logic expression for the sum is simply an XOR of all the 3 inputs. So sum is A, XOR B, XOR carry in, and the carry out is true when any two of the inputs is 1. So carry out is A and B, or B and carry in, or A and carry in. So this is the expression for the carry out and sum in each full adder. So let's see its modeling in VHDL. Here is the full adder. It has the ports A, B carry in, sum and carry out, and this is the expression for the sum and the carry. Right? This is a normal concurrent signal assignment statement. Now we build a ripple adder using 4 such full adders. So the ripple adder has inputs A and B, each of type standard logic vector 3 down to 0, a single bit of carry in, a sum again of size 4, and a carry out. Now in the architecture of the ripple adder, let us first declare the component full adder. So this is the component declaration, and then we create 4 instances. Let's call them FA0 to FA3, and we have to map their ports. Now notice that there is these signals, so let us use signals for connecting them. Let's call this carry 0, carry 1 and so on, and carry 3, which is finally connected to the output port carry out. Okay, so the signal connects the output carry of one stage to the input carry of the next stage. So we declare a signal called carry, again of standard logic vector 3 down to 0. We don't have to actually we don't actually need the signal of size 4. Signal of size 3 would have also been enough, because effectively we just need this one and this one, we need 3, but it's okay. In this example we have used a vector of size 4. So the first stage is mapped, the input port is mapped to A0, B0, the input carry, which is the input port of this, and the output is mapped to sum 0, and the input carry to the next stage, which is carry 0. This becomes the input carry to the next stage. Similarly, the output carry from the first stage becomes the input carry to the next stage, and so on. And finally, the carry out of the last stage is directly connected to the port C out. So that's it. That's the solution for the 4-bit ripple carry adder. This is one out of many possible solutions. So in VHDL, there are many ways to describe the same behavior or the same logic circuit. Okay, so there's no one objective solution to this. Now let's see the test bench. This is something interesting. So notice that in the previous examples, we have to declare the library IEEE standard logic 1164.all in order to use this standard logic vector type. So now in the test bench, let us use one more library called IEEE numeric standard.all. This library provides a bunch of goodies, for example, addition, subtraction and so on, converting standard logic vectors into unsigned or signed integers and so on. Okay, so it provides a lot of library functions, particularly arithmetic kind of functions. So we need this so that we can iterate over different values of A. We can increment A and increment B and check the output. You don't have to use it, you could do this manually or generate random values for A, B and C. But here is one way of systematically testing out all possible combinations. Okay, so what we are going to do is we have to test the output, the sum and carry out, for all possible values of a, b and carry in. So a and b etc. They are 4 bits. So a can take the values from all zeros to 1 1 1 1. Similarly b can take all these values, and similarly carry in can take these values. So how many total input combinations are there? If you notice, a is 4 bits, b is another 4 bits, and carry is 1 bit. So total there are 9 bits. So there are 2 raised to 9, that is 512 input combinations, right? All of these can be tried. It's possible in the test bench to simulate all of these input combinations. So here is one way. Okay, we let a increment start from 0. So a is initially 0 and a increments after 10 nanoseconds. So how do we increment a? Because a is a standard logic vector. So what we do is we convert a into an unsigned integer, add 1 and convert it back to standard logic vector. This is one way of doing it. So this is kind of a ready-made way, right? This does not provide a clear understanding of what is the circuit for doing this, but that's okay because we are using it in the test bench. So my advice is to not hesitate in using all these high level functions such as addition etc. in the test bench. Okay, this is to ease the testing, because the test bench is not really meant to actually create the hardware, but within the component that you are creating, say for example the ripple adder, don't use statements yet that don't provide an understanding of what the circuit may look like in the beginning. Okay, so for the entities that you want to describe, try to understand what the hardware will look like. Whereas in the test bench, we just want to create patterns and apply them to the inputs. So do not hesitate to use these high level library functions or high level descriptions of these library functions to generate patterns on the input signals, but restrict the use of such things to the test bench, at least in the beginning. Okay, so let's see. So what happens is we create the component for the ripple adder here, and then a is assigned a pattern where a increments every 10 nanoseconds, and after it is all ones, it will wrap back to all zeros and continue. Similarly b increments every 160 nanoseconds. Okay, and carry in is 0, so similarly you could actually also increment carry in. This doesn't this particular test bench does not check for all possible input combinations because carry in is a constant. So let's see what the output waveforms will look like. So on EDA Playground, this is what the output waveforms look like. So A increments, we zoom this in. A increments from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, and B also increments but with a larger time period, and then finally the sum. So sum currently reflects A. If you go to another location where B is 1, then sum would be 1 more than A and so on. So it seems to be correct. And here is a carry out, that is when A is F and B is 1, then there is a carry out. So this is as expected. You can check it for more values. So yeah, that's a solution for the ripple carry adder.